Sergeant Celestine told me that I was one of the firing party the night before the execution. He said if I was going to see any action, I needed to be toughened up. I asked if I could choose not to do it. No, he said, you're a soldier. He told me to get my rifle and go over to the canteen at 2000 hours. He punched me on the shoulder and left. I smoked a cigarette. The others call me Le Gosse because I'm the youngest in the whole regiment. I don't like it, but when I tell them to stop, they just laugh. The recruiting officer asked me how old I was, and I said 20, but the truth is I'm not sure. Anyway, I went over to the canteen with my rifle, like Sergeant Celestine said. It was dark. All the tables had been cleared except one, and I found out later that no one else was allowed in that night. There was a bottle of brandy open on the table and about 20 bottles. Packets of cigarettes too, English ones. Sergeant Celestine told everyone to shut up and listen. Only that morning the captain had told him that this dancer was personally responsible for the deaths of 50,000 French soldiers. So forget any feelings you have about shooting a woman. Think about those dead. And besides, everyone knows she's just a jumped-up putain. But because it's a woman you're going to shoot, the captain has ordered one blank to be issued among the 12 bullets. So you'll never know if your bullet was the one. Got that? At 04:30, a bell rang and the sergeant came into the dormitory shouting at us to get up, but I was already awake. By 05:15, I could hear murmuring in the crowd of spectators behind us. Then I heard cars approaching. Everybody stood still for a few moments while we waited, and when a bugle sounded, I saw her. She was treading over the puddles in the mud. The cars must have got stuck further back. She had on a long black coat and a triangular black hat. There was a nun with her. Behind her was a pastor, a doctor with his bag, and old Maitre Clunet wearing his medal. He was crying. So was the nun. Shit. Clunet, the nun, and everyone else were all pulled to one side, and she walked right past us with her head held high. God, she was beautiful. I'd never seen a woman like her before. She carried herself like a princess, and when she looked at us, my stomach started up like a mixer. Anyway, she was tied to the post, and Major Julien offered her a blindfold, but she turned it down. Sergeant Celestine ordered us to get ready and aim, and I raised my rifle and looked down the barrel at her. She stood so still, it made me tremble. She looked so small against the bank of earth behind her, and I prayed I had the blank. The sergeant raised his sword and looked at the colonel, and then swiped the air and shouted, "Fire!" I squeezed the trigger. The recoil jolted my shoulder, and she slumped to the ground. The sound of our rifles volleyed around the barracks. Then everything was quiet. I fought sick and fought hard to stay upright. The next thing I remember is Sergeant Celestine picking me up and lifting me onto his back. He carried me to the dormitory. I asked him if my rifle had the blank in it. He said he wasn't going to tell me, and besides, it was better if I didn't know. He told me to forget the whole thing. C'est un grand nom, mais c'est rien.